ISO/IEC 17020 Inspection Body Accreditation. Part 1, Introduction, Fundamentals and Requirements. See, instead of creating 6 videos, I have created one video consisting of all 6 parts. Okay, so now we are seeing part 1. Our email ID is info@urgsiso.com. Our mobile number is +91 73 59 45 8455. So please contact us for consultancy of this standard, consultancy, training, implementation, accreditation support, all that. So now we start with part 1. Hello everyone, welcome to the official YouTube channel of URGS International and Inspection Private Limited. If you are an inspection body, third party inspection agency, entity service provider, asset integrity company, engineering consultancy, oil and gas inspection company, construction inspection agency, mechanical inspection organization, electrical inspection body, manufacturing inspection company, or quality assurance professional, then this video is specially designed for you. Today we are beginning our comprehensive technical series on ISO/IEC 17020 conformity assessment requirements for the competence of bodies performing inspection. Whether you are planning to establish a new inspection body or upgrade your existing management system to meet international accreditation requirements, this series will provide practical guidance on implementation, documentation, competency, impartiality, and accreditation. At URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited, we provide complete consultancy, implementation, documentation, training, internal audit, mock assessment, and accreditation support for organizations seeking ISO/IEC 17020 accreditation. Let us begin by understanding why this international standard is so important. What is ISO/IEC 17020? ISO/IEC 17020 is an internationally recognized standard that specifies the requirements for the competence, impartiality, and consistent operation of organizations performing inspection activities. Unlike standards that focus on manufacturing or testing laboratories, ISO/IEC 17020 specifically applies to organizations whose primary responsibility is to inspect products, processes, installations, plants, equipment, structures, or services and provide professional inspection reports. Inspection activities are performed across numerous industries including oil and gas, petrochemical, construction, manufacturing, power generation, renewable energy, infrastructure, transportation, aerospace, marine, automotive, food processing, healthcare, pharmaceutical, heavy engineering. Inspection bodies play a critical role in verifying compliance with contractual, regulatory, statutory, and technical requirements. Customers rely on inspection reports to make important decisions regarding quality, safety, acceptance, maintenance, and certification. Therefore, the competence and impartiality of an inspection body are of paramount importance. Why was ISO/IEC 17020 developed? As industries expanded globally, inspection services became increasingly important. However, different organizations often followed different inspection practices, resulting in inconsistent decisions and varying levels of technical competence. To establish confidence in inspection results, the International Organization for Standardization (ISO) and the International Electrotechnical Commission (IEC) developed ISO/IEC 17020. The standard ensures that inspection bodies operate competently, independently, impartially, consistently, professionally. It also helps regulatory authorities, customers, certification bodies, and international organizations recognize inspection results with greater confidence. Objectives of ISO/IEC 17020. The standard aims to ensure that inspection bodies perform technically competent inspections, maintain impartiality throughout inspection activities, produce reliable inspection reports, demonstrate consistency in inspection decisions, establish confidence among customers and regulators, improve quality management practices, manage risks effectively, maintain qualified personnel, ensure proper inspection procedures, continually improve their management system. Ultimately, ISO/IEC 17020 helps inspection organizations build credibility in both domestic and international markets. Who should implement ISO/IEC 17020? The standard is applicable to a wide range of organizations performing inspection activities. These include third-party inspection agencies, independent inspection bodies, entity inspection companies, vendor inspection organizations, engineering inspection firms, asset integrity inspection companies, mechanical inspection agencies, electrical inspection bodies, civil construction inspection companies, welding inspection organizations, pipeline inspection companies, pressure equipment inspection bodies, crane and lifting equipment inspection agencies, boiler inspection organizations, marine inspection companies, industrial safety inspection bodies, renewable energy inspection organizations, infrastructure inspection agencies. Whether the inspection is performed before manufacturing, during production, after installation, or during operation, ISO/IEC 17020 provides the framework for ensuring technical competence and impartiality. Types of inspection bodies. One of the unique features of ISO/IEC 17020 is the classification of inspection bodies into three categories. Type A inspection body. A Type A inspection body is completely independent of the organizations involved in the design, manufacture, supply, installation, purchase, ownership, use, or maintenance of the items it inspects. These organizations provide completely independent third-party inspection services. Type B inspection body. A Type B inspection body forms part of a larger organization but provides inspection services only to its parent organization. Although part of the same organization, it must demonstrate organizational separation and impartiality. Type C inspection body. A Type C inspection body may inspect both internal and external clients. It may also be involved in activities such as design, manufacturing, installation, or maintenance, provided conflicts of interest are properly identified and controlled. Understanding these categories is essential before establishing an inspection body. Benefits of ISO/IEC 17020 accreditation. Organizations implementing ISO/IEC 17020 gain several significant advantages. These include internal recognition, enhanced customer confidence, increased business opportunities, improved inspection consistency, better regulatory compliance, reduced operational risks, improved technical competence, better documentation control, stronger quality culture, greater market credibility, competitive advantage, enhanced professional reputation. Accreditation also opens doors to government projects, multinational contracts, and international inspection assignments. Now, role of accreditation bodies. After implementing ISO/IEC 17020, organizations can seek accreditation from recognized accreditation bodies. Accreditation bodies evaluate technical competence, personnel qualifications, inspection procedures, equipment, calibration, management system, impartiality, confidentiality, documentation, compliance with ISO/IEC 17020. Successful accreditation demonstrates that the inspection body operates in accordance with internationally accepted standards and is competent to perform inspection activities within its defined scope. Now, conclusion of part 1. In today's session, we introduced ISO/IEC 17020-2026, discussed its purpose, objectives, benefits, types of inspection bodies, industries covered, and the importance of accreditation. This foundation is essential before moving into the detailed requirements of the standard. In part 2, we will explore the management system requirements, including organizational structure, impartiality, confidentiality, quality management, document control, risk management, and leadership responsibilities, which form the backbone of an effective ISO/IEC 17020 inspection body. If your organization is planning to achieve ISO/IEC 17020-2026 accreditation, URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited offers complete gap assessment, documentation development, implementation, training, internal audits, mock assessments, and end-to-end accreditation support. Email us info@urgsiso.com. Our mobile number is +91 73 5945 8455. Please contact us through WhatsApp. We are 24/7 available on WhatsApp. If you found this video informative, please like, share and subscribe to the URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited YouTube channel. Click the bell icon to receive notifications for the remaining parts of this comprehensive ISO/IEC 170206 series. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in part 2. See, I have created all parts in one video. Okay, so now we go for part 2. ISO/IEC 17020 2026 Inspection Body Accreditation Technical Series Part 2 of 6. Management System Requirements, Impartiality, Confidentiality and Organizational Structure by URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. Understanding the management system. The management system under ISO/IEC 17020 ensures that inspection activities are performed consistently, competently and impartially. The system establishes policies, procedures, responsibilities, documentation, operational controls, monitoring mechanisms, control improvement processes. A properly implemented management system ensures that inspection results are reliable, repeatable and technically valid. It also demonstrates confidence to customers, regulators, accreditation bodies, certification bodies, government authorities. Legal entity requirement. One of the first requirements of ISO/IEC 17020 is that inspection body must be a legally identifiable entity. The organization should have clearly defined legal status and responsibility for its inspection activities. Typical examples include private limited companies, government organizations, public sector enterprises, independent inspection agencies, engineering organizations, professional service providers. The legal entity should clearly define ownership, scope of inspection, responsibilities, authority, accountability. This ensures transparency and legal responsibility for inspection decisions. Organizational structure. Every inspection body must establish a documented organizational structure. The structure should be clearly identify top management, technical manager, quality manager, inspection personnel, administrative staff, technical experts, decision-making authorities. And organization charts should clearly show reporting relationships and communication channels. Responsibilities and authorities should be documented for every key position. Typical responsibilities include top management, establish quality policy, provide resources, ensure compliance, review performance. Technical manager, supervise inspection activities, ensure technical competence, approve inspection methods. Quality manager, maintain the management system, conduct internal audits, monitor corrective actions, control documents. Inspectors, perform inspections, record findings, prepare inspection reports, maintain professional ethics. Clearly defined responsibilities improve accountability throughout the organization. Impartiality, the core principle. One of the most important requirements of ISO/IEC 17020 is impartiality. Inspection decisions must be based solely on objective evidence and technical requirements. Inspectors must never be influenced by financial pressure, commercial interests, personal relationships, customer demands, internal management pressure. Inspection findings should always reflect actual inspection results. The inspection body should establish an impartiality policy approved by top management. The policy should confirm that inspection decisions are independent, conflicts of interest are identified, risks to impartiality are controlled, personnel understand their ethical responsibilities. Maintaining impartiality builds confidence among customers and accreditation bodies. Now, managing risks to impartiality. Every inspection body should identify potential risks that may compromise impartiality. Examples include inspecting equipment designed by the same organization, financial incentives linked to inspection outcomes, family relationships with customers, ownership interests, consultancy services creating conflicts, pressure from clients for favorable reports. Organizations should conduct regular risk assessments to identify, evaluate, and control such risks. Typical controls include independent technical review, rotation of inspectors, declaration of conflicts of interest, management oversight, ethical conduct policies. Risk-based thinking strengthens confidence in inspection results. Confidentiality requirements. Inspection bodies handle highly confidential information. Examples include engineering drawings, design calculations, manufacturing processes, customer specifications, inspection reports, test results, commercial information. The organization must establish procedures to protect confidential information. Personnel should sign confidentiality agreements and understand their responsibilities regarding information security. Access to confidential records should be controlled through appropriate authorization procedures. Maintaining confidentiality enhances customer trust and protects intellectual property. Management system documentation. Documentation provides evidence that the management system is implemented effectively. Typical documents include quality manual, policies, procedures, standard operating procedures, inspection procedures, work instructions, risk assessment records, inspection checklists, forms, registers, training records, calibration records, internal audit reports, management review minutes. Documentation should be approved, controlled, reviewed, updated, easily accessible. Proper documentation ensures consistency across all inspection activities. Document control. Document control is one of the most frequently assessed areas during accreditation. Inspection bodies should ensure unique document identification, revision numbers, approval before use, controlled distribution, periodic review, withdrawal of obsolete documents. Only current versions should be available for use. Uncontrolled documents often result in accreditation non-conformities. Leadership and top management commitment. Successful implementation depends on strong leadership. Top management should establish quality objectives, promote impartiality, allocate resources, support competency development, review system performance, encourage control improvement, foster ethical conduct. Management commitment is evaluated during accreditation assessments. Without leadership involvement, even well-documented systems may fail during implementation. At last conclusion of this part. In today's session, we discuss the management system requirements of ISO/IEC 17020-2026, including legal entity requirements, organizational structure, impartiality, confidentiality, risk management, document control, and leadership responsibilities. These requirements establish the framework for a competent and trustworthy inspection body capable of delivering consistent and reliable inspection services. In part 3, we will explore the technical requirements of ISO/IEC 17020-2026, including personnel competence, inspector qualifications, inspection methods, equipment management, calibration, subcontracting, inspection records, and reporting requirements. If your organization is planning to achieve ISO/IEC 17020-2026 accreditation, URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited offers complete gap assessment, documentation development, implementation, training, internal audits, mock assessments, and end-to-end accreditation support. Email us info@urgsiso.com. Contact us through our mobile number +91 73 59 45 8455. If you found this session valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to the URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited YouTube channel and click the bell icon to stay updated with the remaining parts of this comprehensive ISO/IEC 17020-2026 accreditation series. Thank you for watching. We will see you in part 3. Now, let's see the part 3 in the same video. So part 3 is technical requirements, personnel competence, inspection methods, equipment, calibration, and inspection reporting by URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. This is our email ID, this is our mobile number. Please contact us for implementation of this standard, training, and accreditation support. Hello everyone, welcome back to our comprehensive technical series on ISO/IEC 17020-2026 inspection body accreditation. In part 1, we discussed the fundamentals of ISO/IEC 17020, its objectives, benefits, and different types of inspection bodies. In part 2, we explored the management system requirements, including organizational structure, impartiality, confidentiality, document control, and leadership responsibilities. Today, in part 3, we will discuss the technical requirements of ISO/IEC 17020-2026, which determine the competence of an inspection body to perform reliable, consistent, and technically valid inspections. This session will cover personal competence, inspector qualification, inspection methods and procedures, equipment and calibration, measurement traceability, handling inspection items, inspection records, inspection reports. These technical requirements form the backbone of an internationally accredited inspection body. What are the technical requirements? Technical requirements ensure that inspection activities are carried out using competent personnel, appropriate inspection methods, calibrated equipment, and standardized reporting practices. The objective is to ensure that every inspection result is technically valid, repeatable, reliable, traceable, defensible, consistent. Accreditation bodies place significant emphasis on these requirements because the credibility of an inspection body depends on its technical competence. Personal competence. Competent personnel are the most valuable assets of any inspection body. ISO/IEC 17020 requires organizations to establish procedures for recruitment, qualification, training, authorization, performance monitoring, periodic competency evaluation. Personnel should possess appropriate educational qualifications, technical knowledge, industry experience, inspection skills, communication skills, ethical conduct. Competence should be demonstrated through documented evidence rather than assumptions. Training records, qualification certificates, and experience records should be maintained for all inspection personnel. Inspector qualification and authorization. Not every employee can perform inspections independently. Before authorization, inspectors should demonstrate competence in applicable codes and standards, inspection techniques, product knowledge, regulatory requirements, safety procedures, report preparation, customer communication. The inspection body should define authorization criteria based on education, experience, technical training, practical assessment, witnessed inspections. Management should formally authorize inspectors for specific inspection activities within the approved scope. Periodic reassessments ensures continued competence. Training and continuous professional development. Inspection technologies, regulations, and industry standards continue to evolve. Organizations should establish an annual training program covering ISO/IEC 17020 requirements, industry codes and standards, technical inspection methods, risk assessment, occupational safety, inspection documentation, customer requirements, ethical conduct. Refresher training should also be provided whenever standards are revised, new technologies are introduced, inspection methods change, new equipment is purchased. Continuous learning improves technical capability and customer confidence. Inspection methods and procedures. Inspection activities should be performed using documented procedures. Inspection procedures should clearly define scope, inspection method, acceptance criteria, equipment required, safety precautions, sampling requirements, recording method, reporting format. Inspection methods should be technically validated and based on recognized standards wherever applicable. Examples include ASME, API, ISO standards, ASTM standards, AWS standards, IEC standards, national regulations, customer specifications. Using standardized inspection procedures improves consistency between inspectors and inspection locations. Inspection equipment. Reliable inspection results depend on suitable equipment. Examples include vernier calipers, micrometers, thickness gauges, ultrasonic thickness meters, pressure gauges, torque wrenches, infrared thermometers, coating thickness gauges, measuring taps, laser measuring devices, NDT equipment, hardness testers, surface roughness testers. Inspection equipment should be suitable for its intended purpose, properly maintained, periodically calibrated, protected from damage, clearly identified. Only calibrated equipment should be used for inspection activities. Calibration and measurement traceability. Calibration ensures that measuring equipment provides accurate and reliable results. ISO/IEC 17020 requires calibration schedules, calibration certificates, traceability to national or international standards, equipment identification, calibration labels, out of tolerance procedures. If equipment is found to be out of calibration, the organization should evaluate the validity of previous inspection results and implement appropriate corrective actions. Measurement traceability strengthens confidence in inspection decisions and supports international recognition. Handling inspection items. Inspection items should be handled carefully to prevent damage, contamination, misidentification, mix-up, loss. Organizations should establish procedures for identification, storage, transportation, preservation, return on disposal, return or disposal. Proper handling maintains the integrity of inspection activities and protects customer property. Inspection records. Every inspection should generate sufficient records to demonstrate what was inspected, who performed the inspection, when the inspection was carried out, inspection methods used, equipment utilized, inspection findings, acceptance criteria, final decision. Typical records include inspection checklists, field notes, photographs, measurement results, calibration references, observation reports, non-conformance reports, corrective action records. Inspection records should be secure, legible, retrievable, and returned for the defined retention period. Inspection reports. The inspection report is the final deliverable provided to the customer. A professional inspection report should include inspection body name, customer details, unique report number, date of inspection, inspection scope, applicable standards, inspection findings, measurements, observations, non-conformities, if any, conclusion, authorization, signature. Report should be accurate, objective, clear, complete, confidential. Inspection report should never contain misleading or unsupported conclusions. At last, conclusion. In today's session, we discuss the technical requirements of ISO/IEC 17020/2026, including personal competence, inspector qualification, training, inspection methods, equipment management, calibration, measurement traceability, handling of inspection items, inspection records, and professional reporting. These requirements ensure that inspection bodies consistently deliver technically valid, impartial, and internationally accepted inspection services. In part 4, we will discuss resource management, facilities and environmental conditions, equipment maintenance, subcontracting of inspection activities, risk management, complaints and appeals, non-conforming inspection work, and corrective actions, all of which are essential for maintaining accreditation and control compliance. If your organization is planning to achieve ISO/IEC 17020/2026 accreditation, URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited provides complete consultancy, documentation, development, implementation, training, internal audits, mock assessments, and end-to-end accreditation support. Email us to our email ID, WhatsApp us or call us to our mobile number +917359458455. If you found this session informative, please like, share and subscribe to the URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited YouTube channel. Click the bell icon to receive notifications for the upcoming parts of this comprehensive ISO/IEC 17020/2026 accreditation series. Thank you for watching. We will see you in part 4. ISO/IEC 17020/2026 Inspection Body Accreditation Technical Series Part 4 of 6. Resource management, facilities, equipment maintenance, subcontracting, complaints, non-conforming work, and corrective actions by URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. Hello everyone, welcome back to our comprehensive technical series on ISO/IEC 17020/2026 Inspection Body Accreditation. In part 3, we discussed the technical requirements including personal competence, inspector qualifications, inspection methods, equipment management, calibration, measurement traceability, inspection records, and inspection reporting. Today in part 4, we will focus on another essential aspects of ISO/IEC 17020, the effective management of resources and operational controls that ensure inspection activities remain reliable, consistent, and compliant. In this session, we will discuss resource management, facilities and environmental conditions, equipment maintenance, outsourcing and subcontracting, purchasing and external service providers, complaints and appeals, non-conforming inspection work, corrective actions, preventive actions and control improvement. Let's begin. Resource management. Every inspection body requires adequate resources to perform inspection activities competently. Resources include qualified personnel, inspection equipment, office infrastructure, information technology, vehicles, communication systems, inspection software, personal protective equipment (PPE). Top management should ensure that sufficient resources are available before accepting inspection assignments. Resource planning should consider scope of accreditation, number of inspectors, geographical coverage, technical expertise, customer requirements, inspection schedule, safety requirements. Proper resource allocation helps avoid delays, errors, and customer dissatisfaction. Facilities and environmental conditions. Inspection activities should be performed under suitable environmental conditions. Environmental factors may affect inspection accuracy, including temperature, humidity, lighting, dust, vibration, wind, rain, electromagnetic interference. The inspection body should identify environmental conditions that may influence inspection results and establish appropriate controls. Examples include adequate lighting for visual inspection, controlled temperature for dimensional measurements, clean work areas, safe access to inspection locations, proper storage conditions for instruments. When environmental conditions fall outside acceptable limits, inspections should be postponed or appropriate corrective measures should be implemented. Equipment maintenance. Inspection equipment should remain in good working condition throughout its service life. The organization should establish preventive maintenance procedures covering cleaning, inspection, functional verification, preventive maintenance, repairs, replacement, service records. Maintenance records should include equipment identification, maintenance date, nature of maintenance, service provider, next to date, verification results. Proper maintenance minimizes equipment failures and improves inspection reliability. Control of external service providers. Inspection bodies often rely on external organizations for services such as equipment calibration, NDT services, laboratory testing, software support, training, technical consultancy. The organization should establish procedures for supplier evaluation, supplier approval, performance monitoring, periodic evaluation. Selection criteria may include technical competence, accreditation status, experience, response time, quality performance, regulatory compliance. Using competent external providers strengthens the credibility of inspection activities. Subcontracting inspection activities. In certain situations, an inspection body may subcontract part of an inspection activity. However, subcontracting does not transfer responsibility. The inspection body remains fully responsible for technical competence, inspection results, compliance, customer satisfaction. Before subcontracting, the organization should verify technical competence, accreditation status, personal qualifications, equipment capability, inspection procedures, confidentiality arrangements. Customers should be informed whenever subcontracting is permitted by contractual or regulatory requirements. All subcontracted activities should be properly documented and monitored. Handling customer complaints. Customer complaints provide valuable opportunities for improvement. Every inspection body should establish a documented complaints process. Typical stages include complaint registration, acknowledgement, investigation, root cause analysis, corrective action, customer response, closure. Complaints should be handled fairly, objectively, confidentially, without discrimination. The individual investigating the complaint should not be directly involved in the inspection under review. Complaint records should be maintained for future analysis and control improvement. Appeals process. Customers have the right to appeal inspection decisions. Inspection body should establish a documented appeals procedure that ensures independence, transparency, technical review, timely response, fair decision making. Appeals should be evaluated by competent personnel who were not involved in the original inspection decision. The outcome should be communicated formally to the customer with supporting technical justification. Control of non-conforming inspection work. Despite robust systems, errors can occasionally occur. Examples include incorrect inspection method, calibration failure, inspection error, missing inspection records, incorrect reporting, equipment malfunction, data entry errors. Whenever non-conforming inspection work is identified, the organization should stop the affected work if necessary, evaluate the impact, inform the customer when appropriate, investigate the root cause, implement corrective actions, verify effectiveness before resuming activities. This process helps maintain confidence in inspection results. Corrective actions and root cause analysis. Corrective action is more than simply fixing a problem. It aims to eliminate the root cause to prevent recurrence. A structured corrective action process should include identification of the non-conformity, immediate corrections, root cause analysis, action planning, implementation, effectiveness verification, closure. Common root cause analysis tools include 5 whys, Fishbone, Ishikawa diagram, Pareto analysis, failure mode and effective analysis, FMEA. Effective corrective actions improve both operational performance and accreditation steadiness. Preventive actions and control improvement. Inspection bodies should proactively identify opportunities to prevent potential problems before they occur. Preventive measures may include periodic risk assessments, competency reviews, procedure updates, technology upgrades, customer feedback analysis, internal audits, lessons learned, management reviews. Control improvement ensures the inspection body remains competitive and aligned with changing customer expectations and international standards. At last, conclusion for this part. In today's session, we explored resource management, facilities, environmental conditions, equipment maintenance, subcontracting, external service providers, complaints, appeals, non-conforming inspection work, corrective actions, and control improvement. These operational controls ensure that inspection services remain technically sound, impartial, and internationally recognized. In part 5, we will discuss internal audits, management reviews, risk-based thinking, accreditation assessment process, assessment preparation, common non-conformities, and best practices for successfully achieving ISO/IEC 17020-2026 accreditation. If your organization is planning to achieve ISO/IEC 17020-2026 accreditation, URG's International Certification and Inspection Private Limited offers complete gap assessment, documentation development, implementation, training, internal audits, mock assessments, and end-to-end accreditation support. Please email us. Please contact us through our mobile number. This is our WhatsApp number also. We are 24/7 available on WhatsApp. Please message on WhatsApp for any inquiry. If you found this technical session valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to the URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited YouTube channel. Click the bell icon to stay updated with the remaining parts of this comprehensive ISO/IEC 17020-2026 accreditation series. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in part 5. Now part 5. ISO/IEC 17020-2026 Inspection Body Accreditation Technical Series, Part 5 of 6. Here we will discuss internal audits, management review, accreditation assessment process, common non-conformities, and best practices. So hello everyone, welcome back to our comprehensive technical series on ISO/IEC 17020-2026 Inspection Body Accreditation. In part 4, we discussed resource management, environmental conditions, equipment maintenance, subcontracting, complaints, appeals, non-conforming inspection work, and corrective actions. And today in part 5, we will discuss one of the most important phases of the accreditation journey. So how to prepare your inspection body for accreditation assessment. Many organizations successfully develop documentation and implement their management systems but face challenges during accreditation assessment due to inadequate preparation, poor evidence, or ineffective implementation. In this session, we will cover internal audits, management reviews, risk-based thinking, accreditation assessment process, preparation for assessment, common non-conformities, best practices for successful accreditation. Let us begin. Importance of internal audits. Let's see this. Internal audits are one of the most effective tools for evaluating whether the management system is functioning as intended. The objective of an internal audit is to verify that ISO/IEC 17020 requirements are implemented, internal procedures are followed, inspection activities are technically competent, records are complete and accurate, opportunities for improvement are identified. Internal audits should be planned at regular intervals based on scope of accreditation, operational risks, previous audit results, changes in activities, customer feedback. And effective internal audits helps identify issues before they become major findings during the accreditation assessment. Planning and conducting internal audits. Every inspection body should establish a documented internal audit program. The program should define audit objectives, audit scope, audit criteria, audit schedule, audit team, reporting process, follow-up activities. Internal auditors should be technically competent, independent of the activities being audited, trained in ISO/IEC 17020 requirements, objective and ethical. During the audit, auditors should verify compliance with documented procedures, personal competency, equipment calibration, inspection records, report accuracy, confidentiality practices, corrective action implementation. Audit findings should be classified as conformity, observation, opportunity for improvement, minor non-conformity, major non-conformity. A well-conducted internal audit strengthens the organization's readiness for accreditation. Management review. Management review is a strategic evaluation of the effectiveness of the inspection body's management system. Top management should periodically review internal audit results, customer complaints, appeals, corrective actions, risk assessments, personal competence, equipment status, accreditation objectives, resource requirements, business performance, improvement opportunities. The management review meeting should result in decisions regarding resource allocation, process improvements, training requirements, policy updates, quality objectives, strategic direction. Minutes of the meeting should be documented and retained as evidence for accreditation assessments. Risk-based thinking in ISO/IEC 17020. ISO/IEC 17020 encourages inspection bodies to proactively identify and manage risks that could affect the quality and impartiality of inspection activities. Examples of risks include equipment failure, loss of qualified personnel, calibration delays, conflict of interest, inadequate training, data loss, confidentiality breaches, delayed inspection reports. Risk management involves risk identification, risk evaluation, risk mitigation, monitoring, periodic review. A proactive risk management approach improves operational resilience and customer confidence. Preparing for accreditation assessment. Let's see this. Before applying for accreditation, the inspection body should ensure that its management system has been fully implemented. Preparation activities include completing all required documentation, conducting internal audits, holding management review meetings, closing identified non-conformities, verifying personal competency, ensuring calibration of equipment, reviewing inspection procedures, organizing records for easy retrieval. Many organizations also conduct a mock assessment to simulate the actual accreditation process. This helps identify gaps and improve staff confidence before the official assessment. The accreditation assessment process. The accreditation process generally consists of several stages. Stage 1 is application review. The accreditation body reviews scope of accreditation, quality manual, procedures, supporting documentation. Stage 2 document assessment. Assessors evaluate whether the documented management system complies with ISO/IEC 17020 requirements. Stage 3 is on-site assessment. Assessors visit the inspection body to verify implementation of procedures, competence of personnel, inspection activities, equipment, calibration, records, management system, effectiveness. They may also witness actual inspection activities and interview personnel. Stage 4 is closure of non-conformities. If any non-conformities are identified, the organization must investigate the root cause, implement corrective actions, submit objective evidence, demonstrate effectiveness. Stage 5 is accreditation decision. After successful closure of findings, the accreditation body reviews the assessment results and grants accreditation for the approved scope. Now, common non-conformities observed during accreditation. What are those? Some of the most frequently observed non-conformities include incomplete quality documentation, poor document control, inadequate risk assessment, lack of personal competency records, expired calibration certificates, incomplete inspection reports, missing training records, ineffective internal audits, incomplete management review, weak corrective action process, poor equipment maintenance records, inadequate control of confidential information, failure to demonstrate impartiality. Most of these issues arise due to ineffective implementation rather than lack of documentation. Now, best practices for successful accreditation. What are those? Let us see. Organizations that achieve successful accreditation consistently follow these best practices. Develop practical and user-friendly procedures. Ensure all personnel understand ISO/IEC 17020 requirements. Maintain complete and accurate inspection records. Perform regular internal audits and management reviews. Keep equipment calibrated and properly maintained. Identify and manage risk proactively. Monitor customer feedback and complaints. Conduct periodic competency evaluations. Perform a comprehensive mock assessment before the official accreditation visit. Foster a culture of impartiality, professionalism, and control improvement. These practices not only improve accreditation readiness but also enhance operational excellence. At last, conclusion. In today's session, we discuss internal audits, management reviews, risk-based thinking, accreditation assessment preparation, the accreditation assessment process, common non-conformities, and best practices for achieving ISO/IEC 17020 2026 accreditation. These activities are essential for demonstrating competence, impartiality, and compliance with international accreditation requirements. Now, in part 6, the final session of this series, we will cover maintaining accreditation, surveillance assessments, control improvement, frequently asked questions, common myths, URGS International's consultancy methodology, and practical guidance for building a world-class inspection body. If your organization is planning to achieve ISO/IEC 17020 2026 accreditation, URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited provides comprehensive gap assessments, documentation development, implementation support, technical training, internal audits, mock assessments, and end-to-end accreditation consultancy. We support in all possible ways so that our client could get this accreditation from accreditation body in India or in other countries wherever inspection bodies are located. If you found this technical session valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to the URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited YouTube channel. Click the bell icon to stay updated with the final part of this comprehensive ISO/IEC 17020 2026 accreditation series. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in part 6. Now part 6, last part, final part, maintaining accreditation, control improvement, URGS consultancy methodology, and frequently asked questions. So hello everyone, welcome to the final part of our comprehensive ISO/IEC 17020 2026 inspection body accreditation technical series. Throughout the previous 5 parts, we have covered fundamentals of ISO/IEC 17020, types of inspection bodies, management system requirements, organizational structure, impartiality and confidentiality, personal competence, inspection methods, equipment and calibration, resource management, internal audits, management review, accreditation assessment process, common non-conformities, best practices for accreditation. Today in the final session we will discuss maintaining accreditation, surveillance and reassessment, control improvement, digital transformation in inspection bodies, Frequently asked questions. Common myths. URGS consultancy methodology. Why choose URGS International? Final recommendations. Let's begin. Accreditation is the beginning, not the end. Please keep this in mind. It's very important. Many organizations believe that once accreditation is granted, the work is complete. It is not like that. However, accreditation is an ongoing commitment to technical competence, impartiality, and control improvement. Maintaining accreditation requires consistent implementation of the management system in day-to-day operations. Inspection bodies should continually ensure compliance with ISO/IEC 17020 requirements, adherence to documented procedures, competent personnel, calibrated equipment, reliable inspection reports, effective risk management, customer satisfaction, control improvement. Every inspection should demonstrate the same level of professionalism and technical integrity expected during the accreditation assessment. Now, surveillance assessments and reassessment. Accreditation bodies conduct periodic surveillance assessments to verify that the inspection bodies continues to comply with ISO/IEC 17020. During surveillance, assessors typically review implementation of the management system, inspection activities, personal competence, training records, equipment calibration, internal audits, management reviews, customer complaints, corrective actions. Scope of accreditation. At the end of the accreditation cycle, a reassessment is carried out to confirm continued compliance and renew the accreditation. Inspection body should remain audit ready at all times rather than preparing only before an assessment. Maintaining technical competence. Technical competence is the foundation of every successful inspection body. Organizations should regularly evaluate inspector performance, technical knowledge, practical skills, industry experience, understanding of codes and standards, reporting accuracy. Competence can be maintained through refresher training, technical workshops, witnessed inspections, competency assessments, participation in industry seminars, updates on international standards. A competent workforce ensures reliable inspection outcomes and strengthens customer confidence. Control improvement. Control improvement is essential for maintaining competitiveness and accreditation. Inspection bodies should use internal audits results, customer feedback, complaint analysis, risk assessments, performance indicators, corrective action trends, lessons learned, management reviews. Improvement initiatives may include updating inspection procedures, enhancing report formats, improving response times, investing in advanced inspection technologies, strengthening staff competency, improving customer communication. Organizations that continuously improve are better positioned to meet evolving customer and regulatory expectations. Digital transformation in inspection bodies. Modern inspection bodies are increasingly adopting digital technologies to improve efficiency and accuracy. Examples include digital inspection checklists, mobile inspection applications, cloud-based record management, electronic signatures, QR code-based traceability, online calibration monitoring, drone-assisted inspections, artificial intelligence for image analysis, digital dashboards, automated report generation. Digital transformation enhances data accuracy, traceability, productivity, transparency, decision making, customer experience. However, organizations must ensure that digital systems maintain confidentiality, data security, and document integrity. Common myths about ISO/IEC 17020. Myth 1. ISO/IEC 17020 is only for large inspection companies. It's incorrect. Organizations of all sizes can implement ISO/IEC 17020 provided they meet the standards requirements. And myth 2. Accreditation only requires documentation. Incorrect. Assessors evaluate both documentation and actual implementation. Okay, so that means that documentation is not enough. Actual implementation also matters. Competence, impartiality, and technical performance are equally important. Myth 3. Once accredited, no further audits are required. This is also a myth. Incorrect. Accreditation bodies conduct surveillance assessments and periodic reassessments to ensure continued compliance. Myth 4. Inspection reports alone demonstrate competence. Incorrect. Competence is demonstrated through qualified personnel, validated inspection methods, calibrated equipment, impartiality, and effective management systems. Myth 5. ISO/IEC 17020 and ISO/IEC 17025 are the same. This is also a myth. Incorrect. ISO/IEC 17020 applies to inspection bodies, whereas ISO/IEC 17025 applies to testing and calibration laboratories. Although they share certain principles, their technical requirements and scopes differ. Now, frequently asked questions. How long does implementation take? Implementation timeline depends on the organization size, existing management system, scope of inspection, number of personnel, technical complexity, documentation readiness. Organizations with strong quality systems generally achieve accreditation more efficiently. Can an existing ISO 9001 certified organization implement ISO/IEC 17020? Yes. Many organizations integrate ISO/IEC 17020 requirements into their existing quality management systems while addressing the additional requirements related to competence, impartiality, and inspection processes. Is internal auditor training mandatory? Although the standard does not prescribe a specific course, competent internal auditors are essential to evaluate the effectiveness of the management system and support control improvement. Can inspection activities be subcontracted? Yes, where permitted, but the accredited inspection body remains fully responsible for the quality, competence, and integrity of the subcontracted work. Why is accreditation important? Why? Why is this accreditation important? See, accreditation demonstrates internationally recognized competence, enhances customer confidence, supports regulatory acceptance, and improves opportunity in national and international markets. Now, URGS International Consultancy Methodology. What is this? At URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited, we provide consultancy services for ISO/IEC 17020 2026 accreditation. Our structured implementation methodology includes Phase 1 gap assessment, current system evaluation, compliance analysis, gap identification, implementation roadmap. Phase 2 is documentation development, quality manual, procedures, standard operating procedures, inspection formats, risk assessment templates, registers and records. Okay. Phase 3 is system implementation, means practical implementation, process standardization, technical guidance, inspection procedure development. Then Phase 4 is training. We provide ISO/IEC 17020 awareness training, internal auditor training, technical competency development, management training. Then Phase 5, internal audit and mock assessment. Our experts conduct complete internal audits, mock accreditation assessments, root cause analysis, corrective action verification. This significantly improves accreditation readiness. Then Phase 6, accreditation support. We provide end-to-end assistance during application preparation, documentation review, assessment coordination, observation closure, final accreditation support. Our objective is not only successful accreditation but also establishing a sustainable, efficient, and internationally recognized inspection management system. Now, why choose URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited? Organizations across multiple industries choose URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited because of our experienced ISO/IEC 17020 consultants, practical industry-based implementation, strong technical expertise, customized documentation support, internal auditor training programs, mock assessment and audit preparation, end-to-end accreditation consultancy, customer-focused implementation approach. We help inspection bodies build technically competent, impartial, and internationally recognized systems that deliver long-term value. Now, final conclusion and call to action. ISO/IEC 17020 2026 is much more than an accreditation standard. It is a framework for technical excellence, impartiality, consistency, and customer confidence. Organizations that successfully implement this standard improve the quality of their inspection services, strengthen regulatory compliance, enhance their professional reputation, and expand opportunities in domestic and international markets. Whether you are establishing a new inspection body or upgrading an existing inspection organization, implementing ISO/IEC 17020 2026 demonstrates your commitment to quality, competence, and integrity. If your organization is planning to achieve ISO/IEC 17020 2026 accreditation, URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited is your trusted partner for gap assessment, documentation development, management system implementation, ISO/IEC 17020 training, internal auditor training, internal audits, mock assessments, accreditation readiness, complete consultancy and accreditation support. Contact URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. Our email ID is info@urgsiso.com. Our mobile number is +91 735945 8455. If you found this 6-part ISO/IEC 17020 2026 technical series valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to the URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited YouTube channel. Click the bell icon to receive updates on our upcoming technical series covering ISO/IEC 17025, ISO/IEC 17024, ISO 9001, ISO 14001, ISO 45001, ISO 15189, ISO 13485, NDT, inspection, testing, quality management, and international accreditation. Thank you for watching this complete ISO/IEC 17020 2026 accreditation series. We look forward to supporting your organization in achieving internationally recognized inspection competence and accreditation success. Thank you.